let's make a compost bin. Oh, I'm Caroline, by the way. Welcome to GCM at Home. Now, I know this sounds like a really difficult task, but I promise you it's not as daunting as it seems. All you're gonna need is a storage bin, a hammer, and a nail, or you can use an electric drill, some dried leaves, and you're also gonna need some soil, but it was really heavy, so I couldn't hold it out with the one hand. So I'm gonna ask a friend to help. One hand's like right. Oh!
Is that it?
That's it.
Alright.
Thank you. And now our most important supply, some kitchen scraps. So what is compost? Compost is a mixture of decomposed green waste and decomposed brown waste. Green waste are things like kitchen scraps, and brown waste are things like dried leaves, sawdust, and straw. What it means when those materials decompose is they're going to break down into small, really tiny pieces, and they're going to do that with the help of a bunch of different things. Things like bacteria, insects, the best ones are worms, and fungi. If you don't have an electric drill, use the hammer and the nail that I showed earlier to hammer out air holes on the top and bottom so the bin goes from this to this. My first step is to put some broken up twigs down at the bottom of my compost bin. This provides a level of drainage. Since Florida is very rainy, and since my compost bin is going to sit on the ground outside of my house, I wanted to add this extra level so that my compost wouldn't get too soggy and wet. The next step is to put your dried leaves on top of your sticks in your compost bin. Here I am cutting them up with some kitchen scissors, but you can always pull them apart with your hands if you're using gardening gloves. This is an example of our brown waste. Different materials and foods decompose at different rates. To keep it consistent within our compost bin, we're only going to be putting in fruits, vegetables, crushed eggshells, and coffee grounds. To create a designated layer for our food scraps to sit, I'm going to throw down a small layer of soil and then scatter those food scraps on top and cover them with soil again. After that, I'm going to take the rest of my dried leaves, cut them up on top of that soil and kitchen scrap layer. Here are a list of things that you should not be putting in your compost bin. You should not be placing any plastic or metal in your compost bin. You should also stay away from placing meat and dairy into your compost bin. Your very last step is to sprinkle a little bit of water into your compost bin. The end product of composting is a really nutrient-rich soil. This is going to be perfect for the plants in your garden, whether that be a flower garden or a vegetable garden. If you're using your compost for a vegetable garden, you're engaging in a closed-loop food cycle. So what you're doing is your food scraps that are waste are then being turned into compost, and then they get a new life. So you're recycling them, you're putting them in your vegetable garden to help those plants grow some really big, beautiful vegetables or fruit. And that's it, we're all finished. Pretty simple, see? Thanks for coming along with me while I made my own compost bin. Have a great day.